getting fined for owning a goldfish, or getting arrested for wearing a bikini. There are so many weird rules and laws all around the globe, and sometimes you wouldn't even think how simple things can get you into trouble whilst you're away. Let's take a look at some of the most surprising rules and laws in the world. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe and turn on your notifications so you don't miss an upload. First, let's talk about the beach. Italy has some of the most beautiful and diverse beaches in Europe, from the rocky cliffs of Cinque Terre to the sandy shores of Sicily. But before you pack your towel and sunscreen, you should know that there are some strict rules that you need to follow if you want to enjoy the Italian sun. For example, in some places like Eraclea near Venice, it's forbidden to build sandcastles on the beach. Yep, you heard that right, no sandcastles. The reason? Well, apparently they're considered a hazard for the environment and the public safety. So, if you have kids or you're a kid at heart, you might want to avoid this place and find another spot to unleash your creativity. Another rule that might surprise you is that in some beaches, like in the island of Sardinia, you're not allowed to take any sand, shells or pebbles with you as souvenirs. This is because they're considered part of the natural heritage and they're protected by law. If you're caught with any of these items in your luggage, you could face a fine of up to €3,000 or even jail time. So, if you want to bring home a memory of the Italian beach, you might want to stick to a postcard or a magnet. But what if you want to relax on the beach and enjoy a nice picnic? Well, you should be careful about what you eat and drink. Because in some places, like in the town of Monterosso al Mare, in the Cinque Terre region, you're not allowed to eat or drink anything on the beach except for water. This is because the local authorities want to preserve the cleanliness and beauty of the beach and avoid littering and pollution. So if you're hungry or thirsty, you'll have to go to a nearby bar or restaurant or pay a fine of €50. But Italy is not the only country with weird beach rules. In Thailand, for example, you're not allowed to go commando or without underwear. I think that's a pretty fair rule, to be honest. But this is because it is considered indecent or unhygienic. So if you want to avoid a fine and or jail, then you'll have to wear something under your swimsuit. And don't even think about sunbathing topless or nude, because that is also illegal and frowned upon. Bikinis are also banned in a lot of countries outside of beaches and public baths. You can get fined for wearing a bikini outside of a designated area in Barcelona, Mallorca, the Maldives and the Philippines. And you can even get arrested for wearing a bikini outside of a beach in Turkey and Dubai. But enough about the beach, let's talk about some other weird rules that apply to other aspects of travelling. For example, in Switzerland, you're not allowed to own just one goldfish. You have to have at least two, because they're considered social animals and need companionship. This is because the Swiss authorities want to protect the welfare and the rights of animals, and avoid cruelty and neglect. So, if you're a pet lover or a fish lover in Switzerland, you'll have to buy a pair of goldfish, or face a fine of up to 1,000 francs. Meanwhile, in Greece, if you're planning on visiting some of the ancient sites such as the Acropolis or the Pantheon, you might want to leave your high heels at home. This is because since 2009, the Greek authorities have banned visitors from wearing high heels at archaeological sites. The reason for this ban is to protect the monuments from damage and erosion caused by the sharp pointed heels. So, if you want to admire the beauty and history of Greece, you'll have to wear flat shoes or sandals, or risk being fined or denied entry. In Singapore, you're actually not allowed to chew, sell or import gum unless it's for medical purposes. This is because the Singaporean authorities want to maintain the cleanliness and orderliness of their city-state and avoid vandalism and littering. So, if you're a gum lover or a gum seller, in Singapore you'll have to leave your gum behind or pay a fine of up to 1,000 Singaporean dollars. Of course, these rules are not meant to discourage or scare you, but to protect and preserve the beauty and the culture of each country. Most of them are rarely enforced unless you're really unlucky or disrespectful, but it's always better to be safe than sorry.